Ball's premier tight end. And working with Chargers quarterback Dan Fouts, the big, fast Winslow is a weapon of awesome dimension. 2 weeks ago, Winslow was missing from the San Diego lineup, and the Chargers lost to Seattle. But last week against the Houston Oilers, Winslow was everywhere. Often drawing double coverage, Winslow nevertheless caught 10 passes for 146 yards. And for Dan Fouts, last Sunday's game was yet another 300-yard effort. His production over 12 years is well documented in both the Chargers and NFL record books. While Winslow is a major target for Fouts, the Chargers can burn you with many of the NFL's top receivers. There's veteran Charlie Joyner. And then there's this man, the swift, acrobatic Wes Chandler. But tonight the Chargers meet the Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Raiders, led by quarterback Jim Plunkett. Plunkett and the Raiders have defeated the Chargers in 4 straight no-love-lost meetings. The Raiders have a ferocious defense. They also have their own talented core of receivers, including the NFL's leading receiver of a year ago, Todd Christensen. But when Plunkett wants the big play, he still looks to the veteran Cliff Branch, who has been doing his record-breaking thing for 13 years. Yes, the Raiders remain a big play team. Then there's Marcus Allen, the Super Bowl MVP from last January, who set a rushing record of 191 yards as the Raiders took a one-sided victory over that, who will, on occasion, become a very effective passer. All the ingredients for a super matchup are here, and you'll see it live, the San Diego Chargers and the Los Angeles Raiders. Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, and so many memories from this past summer's 23rd Olympiad. And tonight, this venerable stadium will be the site for another meeting between the San Diego Chargers and the Los Angeles Raiders, 2 longtime rivals in the AFC West. It's a late arriving crowd, and if you know about Southern California freeways, you understand because it's 6 o'clock in the evening here in Los Angeles. This ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Chevrolet. Don Meredith and O.J. Simpson, looking forward to what should be an exciting matchup of these 2 teams, looking at Don Coryell, the coach of the Chargers. With his win last week against Houston, he became the only coach in the National Football League, and the only coach ever to win 100 games at the collegiate level or the professional level. The Raiders, of course, along with Miami and San Francisco, the only undefeated teams remaining in the National Football League. And what a remarkable job Tom Flores has done, taking over 1979 from John Madden. And we look deep to the Raider kickoff receivers. Clee Montgomery, number 28, is back there with Dokie Williams, who played his collegiate ball for UCLA right here. Set to kick off, Ralph Benershka, and we're underway from the Coliseum in Los Angeles. Benershka hangs it high, and this will be Dokie Williams bringing it back. And Williams found a bit of a hole and bursts out over the 25-yard line, near the 28-yard line for a 25-yard return, and out comes Jim Plunkett, the man who wears a couple of Super Bowl rings but has never been to the Pro Bowl. He just somehow manages to get it done. For 3 games, 54%, a couple of touchdowns, 5 interceptions, had 4 of them last week. There is the offensive unit. Big, strong. They protect the passer very well. Plunkett lives dangerously in that pocket. He moves around until he finds an open receiver. First down and 10. Marcus Allen over the left side. He's out over the 30-yard line for a gain of 2, perhaps 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Defensively, they will align in a 3-4. Will the Chargers? They will change that depending upon situation, as all teams do. The linebacking core and a pair of rookies in that secondary have grown up somewhat from last year. The Chargers finishing 26th defensively in the NFL a year ago. They have more experience now. They feel they are a much stronger defensive team, and they are ranked 5th in the AFC after 3 games. Quite an improvement. 2nd down and 7, Marcus Allen right side. And Allen reaches for the first down, and he gets it just out over the 40-yard line. Marcus Allen, who, like my colleague in the booth, O.J. Simpson, Heisman Award winner, played his collegiate football right here in the Coliseum, and he has a lot of talent, O.J.
Yes, he does. He didn't have to do that much on that run except follow his blocking around the end. It appears that the Raiders are trying to establish that running game. The San Diego defense is quick, but they're not particularly strong, and I think the Raiders are going to take advantage of that early.
First down and 10. The ball just out over the 40-yard line. Kenny King, the other setback with Marcus Allen. Plunkett puts everyone in the pattern.
Look out.
Finds the open man in the zone, and it's Cliff Branch. And Branch will have a Raider first down inside the 35-yard line of San Diego as he got behind Gil Byrd and in front of the free safety. A 24-yard pickup, and Cliff Branch, even with 13 years experience, still has those moves they have to respect.
It was fun to watch him work it. Oh, Gil Byrd, the cornerback you're talking about, because they were in a zone. You've got Marcus Allen short. Watch Jim. He's sitting there looking a bit, just daring Gil to take one step or another. That was a good pass right over Bird's hands. Isn't it amazing how long that guy has been around, and he still is quick?
Well thrown ball over Byrd and right in front of the safety, Danny Walters. It had to be the perfect touch, and Plunkett had it. Kenny King lined up in a wingback. Now he will motion, and Marcus Allen will find a little hole in the middle, pops inside the 30-yard line for a gain of about 3 to bring up 2nd down and 7. The Raiderettes are also here as the crowd is starting to fill up this Coliseum. They will not have a sellout tonight, and the game will be blacked out of the Los Angeles area.
Al Davis on the sideline. He expects a good crowd here. L.A., the Olympics were here, and we had no traffic at all, but we're back to the same OLA now. A lot of traffic.
2nd down and 7. Malcolm Barnwell is split to the right. That's Cliff Branch, top of the screen. Marcus Allen, nothing doing inside, gets outside and is all down from behind. Ken Green coming up there from free safety for the Chargers, made the stop, and there'll be a loss of about a yard and a half.
Is that a little too much dipsy doodle that time, Juice?
Oh, just a little bit. I thought he would have gotten outside. Marcus has tremendously strong arms and normally has a pretty decent stiff arm, but this infield of this Coliseum turf has been torn up because of opening ceremonies of the Olympics, and it's still a little soft in the middle. It's going to be tough for some of these backs to bounce outside.
Well, it was worth it.
3rd down and 8. Branch, top of your screen, number 21, wide receiver. That's Barnwell to the right. The tight end, Todd Christensen, he will be the man that Jim Plunkett will most often look for. And they surprise the San Diego defense as they send Marcus Allen over the left side. He'll be short of the first down, however. That's the danger of that. He almost popped it for the first down. He comes up short of the 20, and we will watch Chris Barr come on. Chris Barr, the field goal kicker for the Raiders, is 4 of 5 thus far in the year with a long of 43. And a bit erratic. Has had a difficult time with the extra points this year. Mark Wilson is his holder this year, and Chris Barr, well, he's a kicker, and some say that he misses David Hum, who used to hold. David Dalby is the center, but he is snapping with a full groin. 43-yard attempt. And Barr gets it through, matching his best thus far of the season, and the Raiders on their first possession take a 3-0 lead over the San Diego Chargers.
The Raiders won 14 consecutive Monday Night Football games from 1975 to 1981.
Oh, boy. San Diego has deployed his deep receivers to await the kickoff of Chris Barr. That's number 26. He's a rookie out of Auburn. 5th-round draft pick. They call him Little Train. He's only 5'6", 171 pounds. He's back there with Buford McGee, a rookie out of Mississippi. Barr. Short kick. Hangs up there, however, for quite a while. And here comes the Little Train, Lionel James. Little Train is derailed at about the 23-yard line. First down and 10, San Diego Chargers, and Dan Fouts, who last week put together his 37th 300-yard game in a victory over Houston, will take charge immediately, and that's exactly what he is, a take-charge quarterback. Charlie Joyner, only 46 receptions away from becoming the all-time reception leader in the National Football League. He has 604 career receptions. Ernest Jackson, the single setback, of course, Chuck Muncie, any football fan is well aware, is not available tonight. Receivers in motion, and Fouts is back. Flips it off to Ernest Jackson, the second-year man out of Texas A&M, who's performed so well as a running back, replacing Chuck Muncie. Taken there by Reggie Kinlaw, who plays that nose tackle. The Raiders will change their defensive line. Sometimes it looks like a strange fire drill out there, but they'll bring in Greg Townsend and Sean Jones, depending upon the situation. The 2 finest cornerbacks, many people say, in football are Lester Hayes and Mike Haynes. But fine cornerbacks, great ones, are made by a pass rush, and the Raiders get the pass rush. Jackson got 5, so it's 2nd down and 5. Ball at the 29-yard line. Fouts having trouble getting away from the center. That's one off again to Jackson. And Jackson will have first down yardage out near the 39-yard line.
Composure. I love it. Dropped the ball. Obviously hit a little safety valve there.
Ernest Jackson's had 2 great rushing games replacing Chuck Muncie. Let's watch it from behind now.
Just didn't look like to me there's anything wrong. Just missed the snap. That's a couple of veterans there trying to take it. But look at Danny now kind of move out his outside. Knows he doesn't have but one place to go, and that's just a little flip off to Jackson. They're really pleased with Jackson. They didn't know what he was going to do at the beginning of the season.
First down and 10, 29-yard line. Jackson single setback. Fouts would change his plays often. Jackson again to the outside, and Jackson with a nifty pickup of about 8 yards before he's upended by Otis McKinney. I started to say earlier that Jackson has really come along for these Chargers. They lost Chuck Muncie in a well-documented trade, and he did not show up for the Seattle game, and then he was given a drug test in Miami and, of course, advised by the league to enter a drug rehabilitation institution, and that's where he is right now. James Brooks was traded to Cincinnati, another well-known Charger for the past couple of years, for Pete Johnson. Now Pete Johnson has been traded to Miami. So, surprisingly, Ernest Jackson is the key runner for the Chargers. On 2nd and 8, Fouts is back.
This must be a passing team.
Winslow near the 40-yard line for what appears to be another Charger first down.
Well, that was sort of a mismatch. You had Matt Millen trying to cover Kellen Winslow, and that could never happen. Matt Millen has lost a few pounds over the last year, but he still weighs in at 250 on a 6'2 frame, and he just does not have the leg speed to try to stay with Kellen Winslow.
Near the 40-yard line of the Raiders. The Raiders on top 3-0. We're just underway in Los Angeles. Ernest Jackson left side, big opening over in the left side, and Jackson will pop for about 6 to bring up 2nd down and 4. That offensive line of the Chargers has changed considerably. They are the 2 oldest guys probably starting in offensive line. Ed White has moved out from right guard, number 67, many-time All-Pro. He's out at right tackle now, and Sam Clapham has moved over to left tackle, replacing Billy Shields, who had contract problems and opted for free agency. But Sam Clapham will have his hands full tonight with Lyle Alzado. 2nd down and 4. The Chargers on the move. Fouts. Flag is down as Winslow works for a first down, but again, a flag is down. Holding against San Diego. So that will negate a first down by the Chargers. And whether the Raiders are comfortable or not, O.J., they have had such poor starts throughout this entire season. They have only scored 10 points in 3 first halves.
67 offense.
Well, the Raiders are a team that they play their best football. They're an emotional team. They have to be mad at their opponent to play good football, and thus far, none of their opponents have given them any reason to be mad. If you listen to these Charger players talk about the Raiders this week, they were raving about them all week. So they can't get mad, and they don't play well when they're not mad.
The holding was on Ed White at right tackle, working against Howie Long. The 2nd down and 14. This is Jackson. And Jackson
Nice move.
almost pops it, and he comes close to a first down, a little short of it at the 30-yard line. And on 2nd and long yardage, I don't think the Raiders were thinking anything from Fouts other than pass, and they got the sweep. The Raiders thinking nothing but rush the passer, and Jackson was able to get outside.
Well, I tell you, this Jackson is real impressive. He seems to see the field real well. I noticed on his first couple of runs, he didn't wait to get certain blocks. When he saw a seam to run upfield, he got upfield as fast as he can, and that's what a good back will do, and that's why he's averaging near 5 yards a carry.
And he did get the yardage for the first down, so the Chargers are back at the 30-yard line of the Raiders. First down and 10. Wes Chandler is in motion. Fouts with 3 wide receivers. Finds Winslow crossing. He's wide open, and the big one stays on his feet, gets close to the 11-yard line before Otis McKinney takes him.
Well, they make it look easy when they're hitting, don't they? I love Coryell's in the meeting this morning. He says, we pass to set up our run, and they do. They've led the league in passing so many of the last few seasons, but when they've got that passing game working, it's sure fun to watch.
Well, I tell you, Don, Dan Fouts will get that passing game working as long as the Raiders are playing zone defense. As we said, the Raiders are probably the best man-on-man defensive team in football, but thus far they've been playing mostly zone defense.
Then let's bring some linebackers. Let's get them.
And when they start strapping the ears back and coming with the pass rush, it could be a different story. Right now, Fouts with plenty of time to throw the ball Tries to go inside with Jackson. Nothing happening there. Kinlaw at the bottom of that.
They're getting mad. I tell you, I can tell they're getting mad.
Well, when they can't get mad at anyone, they get mad at themselves. They get down by a touchdown or so. They go in at halftime and they get a little teed off at one another, and they come out and beat up the other team. Thus far, that's been their trend.
Oh, look at that one. 1 TD and 37 drives begun in opponent's territory. See how well I read?
Let's contrast completely with San Diego because they have scored a lot of touchdowns on long drives. Their first 4 possessions last week against Houston resulted in long drive touchdowns. Second down and long. Fouts is back. Again has time and tries to get it inside, going for
I think West thought,
Chandler,
yeah.
and I think he just turned the wrong way, or Fouts read it wrong.
Either that or he thought he was interfered with.
Well, he ran into Van McElroy, so I don't know if McElroy had the position, but he certainly ran into him. You'll see number 26 come into your screen inside, and he ran right into him. But I think Van may have had the position on him.
I think he did, too.
11th play of this drive and a passing situation. 3 wide receivers are in. Chandler in motion, and Fouts is back. Again has time and gets the ball inside.
Winslow.
Winslow, and the big 6'5", 240-pound tight end just bulls his way into the end zone, and the Chargers have taken the lead, and they were very effective. Remember the holding call to put them back into a long passing situation on 2nd and long.
Well, let's take a look at it because he's going up against Mike Davis. They've had a good rivalry. Winslow only averages less than 40 yards against Mike Davis per game, and he averages 79 against everyone else in the league. And Mike Davis says he likes to play him physical, which he tried to do on that play, but Winslow got the most of it.
Fouts was 26 of 37, 336 yards a week ago. In the first half of Houston, he was 18 of 22, and he is picking up where he left off. Bernershka for the conversion.
Straight down the middle.
Holohan puts that down. We understand that Ed Luther, ordinarily the holder, fell off a motor scooter or something last night. So we have a new holder, Holohan. Alan Winslow scores for San Diego. Winslow, 3 receptions already, and as we mentioned at the very top of the show, he had 10 receptions against Houston last Sunday after being out for a week with a contract dispute for 146 yards. Bernershka to kick off. Cleve Montgomery is back with Dokie Williams. Dokie Williams. And Williams, another fine return out over the 25 to the 26-yard line. Sun is just starting to settle here in Los Angeles. Been cloudy. The heat wave broken a couple of days ago. The clouds have settled in, but it is a beautiful, clear night as Jim Plunkett moves back out onto the field. And we'll be returning to the Coliseum right after this message. Our scoring drive. Let's take a look on our animated scoring board. We've added a little feature for you this week. You'll see the penalties outlined in yellow. And there's the penalty holding against Ed White that brought up a 2nd down and 13, and the Chargers surprised the Raiders, coming with a run by Jackson for a 1st down. And of course the touchdown pass to Kellen Winslow. Rapid moving quarter. Raiders now 1st down and 10. The ball at their own 25-yard line. Frank Hawkins, number 27, now at setback with Marcus Allen. And Plunkett is back. Has a lot of time. Gets it to Christensen, the tight end. And Christensen, who led the league in receptions a year ago, to the 33-yard line.
What did he catch, 92?
92.
That's almost unbelievable to catch 92. This is the control receiver. You think Todd Christensen, good little move right there, as a matter of fact. So you got Todd. Here's a good shot of Plunkett. Let's see if we can check those eyeballs there and see what he's looking at. He's looking downfield. There's quick look downfield. Nobody there. Let's flip off to Todd.
Todd Christensen gets 8 yards, a 2nd down and 3, and Marcus Allen will get the 1st down out of the 35 to the 37-yard line.
Well, we know the Raiders' game plan week in and week out very rarely varies on offense. They want to wear you down and take advantage of you in the second half, and they're doing a good job thus far working on San Diego. And if San Diego is going to win this game, they're going to have to score 30 or well over 30 points. I don't think they can stop the Raiders from getting in the end zone.
Dave Dalby is going at center. He has missed the last couple of games with a pulled muscle. He's in there for the Raiders. 1st and 10. Plunkett has Branch wide open.
I love it.
Branch close to the 15-yard line. He was so open. There had to be some kind of a mix-up in the zone defense. That's a 48-yard pickup. The second long game is the same pattern by Cliff Branch.
Well, I think what happened, Frank, they had a linebacker coming from the outside, so there's got to be man coverage down there somewhere. That was just a quick little move to the inside. You see right quick like that old Danny Walters wasn't quite ready for that move to the outside.
Well, as I said, the field is a little soft in the middle. There's a lot of sand there. I was on the field before the game began, and it appeared as if Danny just got caught in the softness of the turf. Tripped a little bit.
Cliff Branch now 14 receptions away from 500 over his career. 1st down and 10, the Raiders. Marcus Allen.
They read that one, didn't they?
A lot of trouble.
Billy Ray.
Mike Green.
Oh, that was Green. You're right.
One of those rookie starters of a year ago out of Oklahoma State who has really improved. He led the team in tackles, even as a rookie a year ago, and he's once again leading the team. There he is.
They're really proud of those two guys in the middle. Of course, Billy Ray Smith was the #1 pick. Green came down the list a little bit, and Green actually may have had a better rookie season than did Billy Ray, but both of them are awful tough in the middle.
Greg Pruitt comes in offensively now for the Raiders. A setback, former Cleveland Brown great. He's in there with Frank Hawkins. That's the time remaining in the first quarter. Chargers leading 7-3. Pruitt, he's hit initially by Mike Green and also Bill Elko.
I think Elko was down on the ground and looked around and found a foot to grab.
Well, this team is a quick team. They're not, as I said, exceptionally big, but they're real quick on defense. They've been playing good team defense, and it appears as if the Raiders are trying to run some counter plays and stuff at them, where they should be trying to power them a little more, but you got to give this San Diego defense some credit. They're playing some good defense thus far this season.
3rd down, 13. The last time this situation, 3rd and long. The Raiders crossed up San Diego. They had their pass prevent defense in, which they do now, and they came with an Allen sweep to the left. Not this time. Plunkett looks for Christensen. That might draw a flag. It was so close as John Turner in there as a nickelback hit Christensen, trying to time it with the ball, and a lot of the fans, and certainly Christensen, thought he got there a little early.
I have no clue what this call is.
Well, there is no call.
Well, okay.
There it is. Judge for yourself.
Oh, that's as flagrant as you can have there.
I think
it does not happen in front of those officials, however, in slow motion. Hindsight is beautiful. Chris Barr, another field goal attempt, this time from 36 yards out. He's been good from 43. He's good from 36. So the Raiders draw to within 1. We have 2:51 remaining in the first quarter. San Diego 7, the Raiders 6.
Awfully hard to argue with anything that Fouts has done, because I think is a premier passing quarterback in the league the last few years. But 5 out of 6, 55 yards in the TD. Can't ask much more. I always say he threw the 6th one away.
Chris Barr to kick off.
Wounded duck.
And it takes a one-hopper to Lionel James, a rookie from Auburn. And James out close to the 30-yard line for San Diego's second possession of the game. Tony Caldwell getting down there for the Raiders. We have 2:41 remaining in the first quarter as Dan Fouts steps into the Charger huddle. We'll be back.
10-0 to the San Diego Chargers last December. The LA Raiders struck back like a tidal wave with 42 unanswered points, scoring 5 touchdowns in 8 minutes. The frenzy spread to the defense, who picked off passes and made life an unkind thing for quarterback Dan Fouts. They were everywhere, and suddenly, convincingly, this was a team on its way to a championship.
The Raiders were 12-4 last year. Of course, they went on to defeat Washington in the Super Bowl, 38-9. The San Diego Chargers were 6-10 on the year. Don Coryell's only losing season since taking over the Chargers in 1978. But the importance of Fouts really was borne out last year when he missed 6 games. The Chargers lost 5 of them. 1st and 10, San Diego at the 28-yard line. Jackson over the 30 to about the 32, a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
I don't think that's kind of a new twist to that offense, because he said they'd like to run, but I think he was planning on running all along this morning when he was talking to us about that setting up the run.
Well, they seem to be getting more vital yards running in the past. You got the feeling the run was just thrown in there as a diversion for the pass, but it appears as if they're really using the run now to help the offense and put the defense off stride.
On 2nd and 7.
Here they come.
Fouts
Good
reads
read.
it quickly and fires a shot. It goes to Holohan, who has really improved since coming up from Notre Dame 4 years ago. Recruited as a quarterback at Notre Dame, changed to wide receiver, and he's really filled in well. It's going to be very close to a first.
Good example of, you talk about tenths of seconds, but in recognition, Fouts had that one immediately when he saw Millen come from the middle linebacker, knew exactly where to go. And also that Houlihan did a good job too, because he had to read that blitz too. Right there.
It's funny, you think about a reader of defense, but many times it's his arm that's done it. Well, with that Burrito has, he does it mainly with his ability to read the defense.
The wily old veteran.
Wiley.
The WCV, wily, crafty veteran.
Holohan short by inches for the first down. Raiders will be closing the gaps in their short yardage defense. Jackson will give it a try. Pops it open, and these are the kind you break big because they get all those men up at the line of scrimmage. Linebackers in tight, and that time the last man trips up Jackson, but not until he gets the first down at the 48-yard line.
When they gonna get mad, Deuce?
I tell you, it's normally a little later. Let's take a look at it from the end zone. It appears, to me, I think San Diego might have got lucky in a way. It's unlucky for Muncie, but they may have found a back that can give him a little something that, of course, Muncie's a great back, but this kid, I think, inside is a little better runner than Chuck. He doesn't rely on brute strength. He's got all the little moves.
First down and 10. Chandler's in motion. Fouts is back. Looks to Chandler. Flag is down. And Chandler is down after a pickup of 5. But a flag is down where you usually get the holding flag. And I think we're going to have another one. Our referee tonight is Gene Barth. The Chargers will be backed up once again. I want to remind you, CFA College Football will return September the 29th, live at 3:30 Eastern, Notre Dame versus Missouri. A couple of high-scoring football teams already this season. Intersectional rivalry, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame traveling to Missouri to battle the Tigers. And both teams, as I said, high scorers. Notre Dame defeating Colorado 55-14 this past weekend. Missouri also defeating Mississippi State 47-30. That's this Saturday. CFA College Football right here on ABC. It'll be first down and 20. Ed White now working against Howie Long, one of the best defensive ends in the league, has picked up his second holding call. Severs in motion, and Jackson right side. And just as they did earlier on what appeared to be long yardage passing situation, the Chargers switch it up and send Jackson to the outside. Jackson is going to have a little equipment repaired.
Well, I'm impressed with him thus far. As you know, the Chargers are a passing team, but the Raiders would prefer them to pass. The Raiders, I think, play their best defense when they're pass rushing the quarterback. And as we said, Ed White has 2 holding penalties. He's playing against Howie Long, who many people believe is the best defensive end in football.
Buford McGee comes in, the rookie from Mississippi, replacing Jackson. Holohan in motion, and Fouts for the first time feeling a little pressure, and that's almost picked off. Ralph Martin, who picked off 4 a year ago on his way to a Pro Bowl year, almost had it, and he thinks he did.
I had it.
Great football player, Rod Martin. He really blossomed last year. He's been consistently around the ball. 4 interceptions, 6 sacks, 108 tackles a year ago, and he almost got another interception here.
Alzado came to the inside. You saw a safety blitz at that time. That was the guy that tipped it. Was that, who was that? That was Mike Davis, I think. Came in there and tipped it.
Oh,
boy, that's close.
That's awfully close, isn't it?
Third down and 12.
I know, Frank. You didn't have the replay to see that.
Fouts. Chandler in motion. Fouts. This time they'll get to him. He is in the grasp. The whistle had blown. Fouts goes down. The blitz was on. Jeff Barnes was in there in a spot that was filled for so many years by the great Ted Hendricks, who called it a career and a fabulous one after last season. A pair of linebackers trying to fill those big shoes now for the Raiders, Barnes and Stanley Adams. We'll be back. Nifty little football player, Greg Pruitt. I guess I shouldn't call him little, but only because he operates with much bigger people. The 6th leading NFL player in history in combined yardage. Only one active player has more, and that's Walter Payton. Greg Pruitt is close to 13,000 combined yards. Maury Buford is back. He doesn't get to practice much. He had the fewest punts in the NFL over the last 2 years. This is the first punt of the ball game as we begin the second quarter, and Greg Pruitt takes a short punt. Tries to get behind the picket line over in the right, and he goes down at the 31-yard line. Maury Buford, who's been struggling thus far in the early going for the Chargers in the punting department, gets a little pat on the fanny. 1st and 10, the Raiders. They trail the Chargers 7-6.
Going to see Pruitt hustling to try to get over there to get behind that picket line, but he can see it. His teammates couldn't. On the other side of the picket line was 2 Chargers coming at him, and I used to run those kickoff returns back, and there's nothing. You're trying to signal your guys to turn around. There's guys behind you. That's kind of discouraging.
With the wagons in the circle. 1st and 10, the Raiders at their own 30-yard line. Hawkins and Marcus Allen, and this is Allen.
Marcus says there's no place to go there.
Nothing happening. Marcus trying to get outside, couldn't do that. Tried to come back, nothing there, and he'll be stopped at the line of scrimmage. Let's take a look at the first quarter stats. We did not have a punt until first play of the second quarter. Fairly even matched, and in yardage, these teams have played fairly evenly over the past 4 games. However, the Raiders have won all 4. We had them last December, and they were down 10-0. Then Marcus Allen threw a touchdown pass, and they went on to win big in that one. 2nd and 10. Plunkett under pressure. Throws it away.
Wow.
Hey, Don, Plunkett is amazing, really. I mentioned he's won 2 Super Bowls. He's never been to the Pro Bowl. He just doesn't look pretty back there, but he really gets it done.
Maybe as maligned as any quarterback, I'm talking about the ones that have had success, as anybody I've ever heard of. He came in as a real hot prospect. New England, didn't make it. San Francisco, came over here. And they still, all he does is just win. It's amazing.
Well, Don, he's had the ability to make the big play. He had that at Stanford. In this offense, you don't have to be consistent. All you have to be able to do is make a couple of big plays each game, and he does it.
And he couldn't play for Dallas because you got to be consistent down there.
3rd down and long now for Plunkett. Ball resting just over the 30-yard line. A lot of time, and he will run it.
He didn't want to.
Look at this. McKinney King backhands it. The ball's loose.
That's where. Yeah, that's
no. They're saying it is incompleted, that he was juggling the ball.
Sandlot. Love it.
It was, because he knew if he ran, he couldn't get the first down, so he was trying to get Kenny King to stop blocking and slide upfield so he can throw it to him, but Kenny was trying to throw a block.
There's Lionel James. He's only 5'6" and 170 pounds. 5th-round draft pick out of Auburn. Did a lot of things down at Auburn. One of them was returning punts. His career average a little over 12 yards. And here's Ray Guy, 1st-round draft pick in '73. And this will be his 801st punt for the Raiders.
Let's try to take it all the way.
Guy hangs it up, stays there for a long time, and James did not time it out, had to take a step backwards. And a flag goes down late.
Of course.
James at the 23-yard line, but a flag is down on a 47-yard punt and a 3-yard return. Referee again tonight, Gene Bart, sorting it out. And it will be against the Chargers. So many flags on kick returns.
Illegal block in the back, number 52, during your run back, 10-yard penalty.
Ray Preston of the Chargers, an illegal block. So rather than the ball being at the 23, the Chargers will start at their own 13-yard line when we come back. And what a rivalry there was between the 49ers and the Rams in those days. The quarterbacks, Norm Van Brocklin He threw a couple of touchdown passes to Bob Boyd. Remember him, a great speedster. The other quarterback for the 49ers, Y.A. Tittle. Final score, Rams 37-24. First down and 10, the Chargers near their own 13-yard line. Jackson, left side. It's a good block by Doug Wilkinson out in front of him. Fouts, so far, has had time to throw the ball. Two great cornerbacks for the Raiders. We asked Fouts if he changes his attack because of Haynes.
Well, when you play against a team like the Raiders that have the two best cornerbacks in the league, you definitely have to take that into consideration when you're making your game plan and hopefully put yourself in a position to where you're going to be more successful, maybe going to other guys or using formations or movement, something to keep them from getting the great leverage that they get using their bump and run.
Dan Fouts talking about Lester Hayes and Mike Haynes, and that time he once again quickly read the blitz, got the pass in, got it into Wes Chandler, who is going to be a little short of a first down, I believe. We might even have a measurement. But that's twice now that Fouts has quickly released it. And we look at an
Mike Haynes may be down.
Injured Raider, and it appears to be the cornerback whom Fouts was talking about a moment ago in that interview. That's Mike Haynes.
He may have gotten the wind knocked out of him because the ball was thrown right on the money, a little quick slant in, and it appeared as if the receiver Chandler got his shoulder pad right under him, hit him right in the stomach with it a little bit.
He has to go off for one play, doesn't it? Isn't that a rule?
Yeah. Looked like he tackled him with his chest and not with his shoulder pad, and it looked like Chandler's shoulder hit him right between those two.
Six-time Pro Bowler, came, of course, in mid-season in a very celebrated trade with New England a year ago. Here it is in reverse angle, and you can see Haynes working against Chandler, and he did get it right in the chest.
Yes.
His own man added to it as McElroy came up and really popped him. Third down, short yardage. Jackson tripped up. Did he get enough? I think he did.
I believe so.
Stretched out over the 24-yard line for what should be a Charger first down. Mike Haynes quickly back into the game now as Ted Watts, who had replaced him, goes to the bench.
Oh, I like this Ernest Jackson. You know what he does? When it doesn't appear as if he can get anything, he gets the most out of it. And, boy, he's really going to help this team.
Well, he's been a stunner, too. An 8th-round draft pick a year ago. They didn't count on him at all at the beginning of the year. Then the problems with Muncie, the trade of Brooks for Pete Johnson, and then they traded Pete Johnson, and they're lucky to have Ernest Jackson. Here he is once again. Boy, and he collides tremendously hard with Mike Davis. Of course, we're winding down in the world of baseball. That's the action that's going on tonight.
All right. Kansas City
has moved into first place. They're playing a doubleheader against California. They won the first one, shutting out California 4-0, and they are leading in the second game. Detroit, of course, has already clinched the American League East. They're just waiting to find out who they're going to play. Both league championships will begin right here on ABC a week from tomorrow. It's second down and 8. Chandler is in motion. Fouts, short drop, gets it to Winslow, and a missed tackle. That was Mike Davis who missed the tackle. Winslow will get the first down as a result. Now close to the 43-yard line, a 17-yard pickup.
He's just such a wonderful target. See him look quickly in case there was a blitz. He's coming back, working in the middle. Goes to the outside. That was Rod Martin that was trying to stay with him. But you're right, over the top. Maybe Mike Davis thought he could knock that ball down or intercept it.
I think he thought it was overthrown, but Winslow is so tall, he was able to get up there and get it. But once again, the Raiders were playing a zone defense.
The first down out over the 43-yard line of the Chargers. Jackson off the left side, and Jackson will get about 4 out of that, moving close to the 43-yard line.
I like the way Jackson doesn't hesitate. He gets upfield, he gets positive yards, but let's don't overlook the job the Chargers offensive line is doing. They're doing a much better job running the ball. They haven't had that much success setting up for longer pass plays, but they're running the ball.
Nor that much practice. They're used to pass blocking. But they are providing some big openings tonight for Jackson. I mentioned that in the last couple of games, he has had 186 yards rushing. Really been a surprise second-year man for the Chargers. Fouts back again, and down goes Dan Fouts, but he gets it off.
What a nice play.
And once again, it's the big man, Kellen Winslow, and Fouts paid dearly for that as the blitz was on.
Talk about a misdirected type run. That's almost a misdirected pass. You look at Denny, quick little fake.
Look at
Jackson.
75.
But look at Kellen Winslow coming from the opposite side. So they're trying to avoid Howie Long any way they can.
I think Howie read it pretty well.
Good effort by Fouts. Watch Jeff Barnes. He's number 56. Nobody touched him.
Ooh.
Fouts knew he was going to pay for that one, and he did.
But
you
he also
see the bulge of the flak jacket around most quarterbacks nowadays. 45-yard line, first down, San Diego.
Yeah.
Winslow.
Oh,
And the big man continues to be on the receiving end for Dan Fouts. He'll get about 7 out of that.
He's got 6 passes. You got to give this game plan of the Chargers a lot of credit, because I know Dan Fouts is the type of guy that likes to throw downfield. Unlike some of the quarterbacks around the league, they like to take that short pass. Dan would prefer to throw the ball deep and down the field 20, 30 yards down. And thus far this game, he's doing these little quick 3-step setups and just dropping it off quick, and it's working.
Not bad numbers. 10 of 12. 97 yards, a touchdown. The Chargers on top, 7-6. 9:36 remaining in the first half. And Jackson on the right side, short of the first down by about a yard. It'll bring up third and short. Mike Davis coming up there to make the stop. Ernest Jackson.
Buford McGee was the guy that...
Well, that is Buford McGee, the rookie from Mississippi. And another Raider has been shaken up. That's Mike Davis, the strong safety who is in on that stop. So Mike Davis will be treated. He looks as though he might have had the wind knocked out of him, and now he's on his feet. We'll be back. Frank Gifford along with Don Meredith and O.J. Simpson. 9:22 remaining in the first half. San Diego over the Raiders, 7-6. Chargers with the football, Raider territory, 38-yard line, third down and 3. Call it a long 2. Jackson, the single setback for the Chargers. This is Jackson, right side.
Got some yards.
Good block by Winslow, and Jackson will have another first down. And there was a happening tonight in Chicago. Here is Jim Lampley with the story.
Well, Frank, tonight the Chicago Cubs have beaten Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh 4-1, so the Cubs have clinched the National League East title. This was the last out. A called third strike from Rick Sutcliffe to Joe Ursulak. Sutcliffe has won for the 16th time in 17 National League decisions. The Cubs are celebrating now, and we'll have a peek into the victorious locker room coming up at halftime. Back to Frank Gifford.
Oh, that's something. First time in 39 years, I think it is. First down and 10 Chargers. Fouts hanging one up, a timing pattern. He threw the ball before Joyner even broke to the outside. He was being covered by McKinney, but that was ever so close.
You see McKinney or a new one come in there, they do their best to try to isolate him. It's not easy to do. You know, if the Cub fans, that's many congratulations, but even if you're not a Cub fan, I think a sentimental favorite had to be the Cubs this year. Everybody was kind of pulling for the Cubs. Reminiscent of the Mets of old.
Charlie Joyner, he is amazing. Now in his 16th year, maybe even more revealing is the fact he's played in 151 games and the fact that he has caught over 600 passes. Here's Jackson right side once again, and Jackson picking up about 3 yards on the effort. Tripped up by Mike Davis, who apparently did have the wind knocked out of him because he is back in the lineup.
You see him ask more and more of the guys that go in motion. That time Winslow was in motion, but after that they ask him to do a lot of blocking, usually at the point of attack. It's a little bit more difficult. New techniques they have to learn. He didn't quite make it that time, but he's made several of them earlier tonight.
Third down and long. The ball near the 25-yard line of the Raiders. Long drives have characterized the Chargers offense this season, and they're on another one now. The 13th play of this drive. Third and long. Fouts buried as the blitz was on. That time Rod Martin gets the sack. But if he hadn't have got it, he would have got a lot of help from Lyle Alzado. They were both there.
You also get a sense that Dan tried to come off of this play, but he just didn't. He thought he could run it anyway. Martin lined up in the right gap.
You got a real good shot of having your folks in the wrong formation when the blitz was coming up. There's nobody to pick up Rod Martin. He was in the gap between Masick and McKnight, and they both had a man over their head. Fourth down, it'll be a 51-yard attempt. Ed Luther is now going to hold for Ralph Panershka. As we mentioned earlier, Luther shaken up in a motorcycle accident last night. Panershka on the way.
He's got it.
And it flutters through the uprights. Great effort. 51-yard attempt by Ralph Panershka. The most accurate field goal kicker in pro football's history. Mentioned earlier, the yardage tonight is very close between the Raiders and San Diego. San Diego maybe has an edge now, but in the last 4 games, the Raiders have won all of them, by the way. Look at that. Only Steve Hurt, our walking UNIVAC, could come up with something like that.
I think he made up the yardage bit. He just was trying to make it look good.
It got close, so he made it even.
They both made 1,483 yards
in 4 games. Truly amazing. Cleve Montgomery drops for the Raiders, number 28, along with Dokie Williams. Panershka, who has just hit from 51 yards out, will put the ball in play. Once again, a high kick that Cleve Montgomery will handle at the 2-yard line. Montgomery out of the 20, skips out close to the 23-yard line before John Turner is there to put on the stop. We'll be back in the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum in a moment.
Would you believe we started this?
A bit of rivalry between these two teams, and a rivalry that the Raiders have dominated over the past couple of years. The Raiders have defeated the Chargers the last 4 games. We mentioned that earlier. Prior to that, in 1981, San Diego had taken the Raiders and the AFC Western Division. San Diego winning twice in 81. First down and 10, the Raiders at their own 23-yard line. Marcus Allen having a hard time working that right side. And, of course, the main man for the Raiders over the years has been Jim Plunkett. He's been up and down like a yo-yo. We ask him how he silences his critics.
Well, I've been lucky enough in my last few years I've been healthy. Early in my career I wasn't too healthy and I had a tough time. Health-wise, heck, if I listened to people who are the critics who say I should be out of the game, I would have missed 2 Super Bowls. So as long as I feel I can perform, play well, and get the job done, I'm going to keep playing. Usually the critics who make those kinds of statements really don't know what's going on. They're reporters who look at things differently than the people who are out there in the field, like the coaches and the players.
Those 2 Super Bowls, I might point out, winning Super Bowls by Jim Plunkett, one in which he was the most valuable player. You just saw Marcus Allen rip off 8 yards over the left side. There's Plunkett. What really happened to him when he was way by the 49ers in '78, the Raiders brought him in. They set him down and told him to relax, pull it together. He was really a broken young man. And, of course, came from San Francisco, didn't perform well there. The Raiders didn't play him at all in '78. He threw the ball 15 times in '79. In 1980, he took the Raiders to a winning Super Bowl and was the MVP. He's a remarkable man. 3rd down and short. Underneath, it goes to Hawkins, and Hawkins very close to a first down. He'll have it near the 34-yard line.
Good effort by Hawkins.
Almost an impossible play to stop.
Let's pause 5 seconds and allow our stations to identify themselves.
WTAE and ABC, we're with you.
The Raiders and the San Diego Chargers getting it on in the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. The Raiders took an early lead with a 3-point field goal. Fouts came back on a long drive, hitting Winslow for a touchdown. Raiders got another field goal, and Ralph Panershka has added another one for the Chargers.
Good throw.
Chargers on top 10-6 in the completion to Todd Christensen. And that will be a first down.
And as the game goes on, you're going to see more of that. Todd Christensen is probably the best tight end in football for finding that little hook-up area over the middle. He was a running back, so I guess he's accustomed to looking for the little hole, but he does a good job of hooking up and sliding one way or the other.
All right, a running back that was released by Dallas and released by the Giants. Raiders turned him into league-leading receiver at tight end. 1st and 10, Plunkett. Pruitt with a gain of about 8. If he turns around Don and says, "Hi, Mom," we can understand, because today is Greg Pruitt's mother's birthday.
Well, if he doesn't, he should. So let's say hi, Mom. I'd like to encourage more hi dads, but if it's Mom's birthday, let's say hi, Mom.
Well, we can't do that, so we won't.
Okay.
But he wanted to say that to his mother tonight.
We can't do that.
2nd down, a long 2 for the Raiders. This game has had a lot of long drives. Pruitt this time runs into his own man, who is backed into the play. He settles for the line of scrimmage, maybe a foot or two. It'll be third and about 1.5 yards.
Seemed to keep going right with not a great deal of success over there, right?
Well, it seemed at that time that Greg could have popped over the middle a little bit. It wasn't much there at all. They're trying to run a power play over on the right. As you know, the Raiders have those big, just about every lineman they have was once a tackle, so they don't have any real true guards, and they don't run trick plays too well in the middle, but they normally has some success running that power play.
Third down, short yardage. Hawkins and Allen, the setbacks, but Plunkett will put it in the air. He has a lot of time. Allen out of the backfield will have the first down at the 41-yard line. 3:11 remaining in the half, and the clock is stopped. Henderson defensively there for San Diego. This is the dimension that Allen gives as a running back that a lot of teams don't have. He is like a third wide receiver. He can do so many things. He was a high school quarterback. He can throw the ball. He's great coming into the pattern out of the backfield.
Well, as Don Coryell told us this morning at the meeting, he thought Marcus was so valuable, he voted him the outstanding player in the league last year because he can do so many things. Of course, not enough other guys voted for him.
Plunkett now 7 of 10, 108 yards. Both Plunkett and Fouts hot tonight. Blitz is on by the Chargers. The Raiders pick it up. And that leaves one-on-one coverage. Christensen working against the linebacker, and that's tough duty, even though Woody Lowe is a very swift outside linebacker. The two tight ends having big nights.
Well, Todd Christensen, as you know, he missed all of training camp. He's still not happy, but he's not doing much talking. I talked to him on the sideline. He seemed pretty happy. In the past, he seemed a little uptight all the time, but he seemed pretty loose today.
First and 10, the Raiders on the prowl at the 29-yard line. Hawkins, single setback now for the Raiders. Plunkett fires it complete. Barnwell, who
nice move,
seems to improve almost weekly for this Raiders. He'll have a first down as Billy Ray Smith has to slide out from linebacker to make the stop. Last week was Barnwell's best day as a pro. He had 8 receptions, 129 yards against Kansas City.
Is he faster than Cliff Branch? Does anybody know?
Well, I don't know. I know that Cliff, I don't think he would have been as fast as Cliff a few years ago, but Cliff has slowed down a little bit. He's not quite as fast as he used to be, but he still draws double coverage, and as we saw early in the game, he can still go for the long one.
Plunkett now with the hot hand, 6 straight completions. Raiders trailing 10-6. They're on the move. Allen right side. There's an opening. And Allen, surprising strength, squeezes 5 yards out of it inside the 15, close to the 13.
You didn't say slow him down.
Yeah, I said slow him down.
Well, I know what you meant.
Yeah. Hey, all my boys on Betrayal Hill know what I'm talking about.
And we're going to get the 2-minute warning.
Slow him down.
Both teams, 3 timeouts remaining. We'll be back. The Super Bowl champion, Los Angeles Raiders against the San Diego Chargers. The Raiders on a drive. They are trailing at the moment, but they have a second down and 5. They're at the 13-yard line of the Chargers. Frank Hawkins, single setback for the Raiders. Allen out on a wing position. He's a good receiver out there. One hand, and it is Cliff Branch. He'll have a first down inside the 5 near the 3-yard line. Cliff Branch in his 13th year. We talked about his speed. How about the hands? Not bad.
Yeah, and the presence of knowing where he is. Now, you don't want to take all these licks coming over here. If he knows he can catch this thing, look, he says, I'm in the middle. So let me have that thing. Now, nice little spin. That's a good move.
Just to cap off the conversation about his speed, he was a 9.4 sprinter when he came out of Colorado some 13 years ago. He'd have to slow down an awful lot. First down, goal to go. Allen slithers to the 2-yard line, picking up a tough 1 yard. It'll be second down, goal to go. Clock continuing to move, even though the Raiders could stop it if they wished. They have 3 timeouts.
Plunkett calls an awful lot of his plays. I believe we were told 50-60% of the plays.
The 3 tight ends are in there. Todd Christensen, Andy Parker, the rookie out of Utah, and of course Derek Jensen, number 31. Now Plunkett very casual about it, but he knows where he is. He's been there so many times. He has 52 seconds remaining in the half. They have a second down goal to go at the 2. They have 2 timeouts.
Central rivals go at it when Ken Anderson and the Cincinnati Bengals take on the division-leading Pittsburgh Steelers next week on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football.
The Raiders have used one of their timeouts. I think that they were just letting the clock tick off. They do not like to give somebody like Dan Fouts any time at all, and if they pop it into the end zone for a quick score, Fouts would have had a minute and 10 or 15 seconds to work with. So Plunkett let it go down to 52 seconds before he used one of his timeouts.
Where are they going, Juice? Where are they going?
Hawkins struggles inside the 1-yard line. It'll be third down goal to go.
Well, I would have been surprised if they would have thrown the ball. I think the Raiders are so big up front that they should do it quick. They should go straight ahead at them and hit it as quick as they can. Have somebody dive over the top.
1 timeout remains now for Tom Floyd and the Raiders. They have a third down goal to go inside the 1. We'll be back after this from the NFL.
Quiet the studio.
I've always wanted it.
Announcement brought to you, of course, by Eric Sievers, the tight end for the San Diego Chargers of the National Football League. 40 seconds remaining in the first half. A rapidly moving football game. Well-played game. The undefeated Los Angeles Raiders trying to stay that way, along with Miami and San Francisco. Have a third down goal to go at the 1-yard line. Hawkins doesn't get in. And decision time.
Hey, you have to give Tom Bass credit, the defensive coordinator of this Charger team. What they're doing, they're just a little quicker than the Raiders up front. I'm surprised they didn't give the ball to Marcus. Marcus is pretty good about going over the top. I think they're going to have to line them up and just tell the back, you got to dive over the top, because what these Chargers are doing, they're coming in under these big Raider linemen, and they're penetrating, and they're not giving the back anywhere to go but over the top.
Well, let's look for it. Let's let them go over the top.
Fourth down goal to go. The ball inside the 1-yard line. We think they'll let it run down to just a few seconds remaining, then use that final timeout. And then it will be decision time. The Raiders trailing 10-6. That will be their final timeout, and they will use it here in a moment. And then I think that they will probably try to get it in.
Well, the Raiders have a lot at halftime to talk about if they want to be mad in the second half, because they've had a couple of their players get the wind knocked out of them, and if they don't score now, they weren't able to push the ball in from the short yardage here. As we see in super slow-mo, they're trying to have Marcus Allen, probably their best blocking back, lead the way. But as you can see, the Chargers get a lot of penetration. They're underneath the shoulder pads of all of those Raider linemen, and they're pushing them back, and there's actually nowhere for the back to go.
Thus far, the Raiders have gone on fourth down twice. They did it twice last week against Kansas City in a drive they had to keep alive to set up the winning field goal attempt in a 22-20 victory over Kansas City by Chris Barr. So that is what they're trying to decide right now.
So the passing stats, that's 10 out of 13 for Jimmy, and 140 yards. That's not bad.
But this has turned into a running game. It's surprising when you consider these two teams that, for the most part, this first half has been a fast first half because it's been a running game.
Plunkett comes back into the lineup. That means that they are going to go on fourth down at about a foot.
All right.
The 3 tight ends remain. That's the time remaining in the first half. We're going to Jim Lampley in New York, updating you on that Cubs win tonight. That
I formation. I'd be surprised if they don't go straight ahead and tell Marcus be airborne.
Look how deep he is.
Jensen in motion.
And he's airborne.
There you go.
Marcus Allen into the end zone.
You called it.
And the Raiders go out on top. They are an explosive second half team. They have struggled throughout their first 3 games in the first half, but they have been deadly in the second half. Here's Allen again.
Sometimes that I formation, the back is too far from the hole, but the Raiders decided to go straight ahead, and as you can see, the Chargers get the penetration, but Marcus is a great athlete, and he just takes off.
That's pretty, isn't
That's
it?
a great shot.
Yeah, I love that.
The Raiders go out on top, 6 seconds remaining in the half.
Dwight Stones would have been proud of him.
The first touchdown the Raiders have scored in the second quarter of the 4 games that they have been involved in this year. Chris Barr drills it through the uprights. And the Raiders make it 13-10 over San Diego. Marcus Allen, he did it all so well right on this very field as a Heisman Award winner from USC. Blocking back early in his career for Charlie White. But indeed he is a superb athlete. That's how it shapes up. Cincinnati against Pittsburgh. And then San Francisco against the Giants. The Giants in a tie with Dallas in the NFC Eastern Division. Got a few more bricks in there, Dandy.
Yeah, those Giants are coming around. I got to see them play. Tampa played a good ball game yesterday. I saw that game. The Giants are terrific, and the 49ers are still undefeated. They found old Kavanaugh can throw that ball, too.
They sure have. It's going to be interesting to see what Bill Walsh comes up with to try to neutralize Lawrence Taylor.
Well,
looking at Marcus Allen, you can't help but remember that Super Bowl last January 22nd, 191 yards rushing. As we look at the deep men for San Diego, that's Lionel James, the rookie out of Auburn. He's only 5'6", 170-pounder. Buford McGee back there with him, and here's Chris Barr. And picked up. Advanced there by Ron Egloff, recently acquired from Denver. 2 seconds, so we'll get one play. Once again, I'll remind you, we'll be going to New York to join Jim Lampley for highlights from yesterday's action. Talk about the Cubs. Their first time as a winner in 39 years.
That's exciting.
I used to follow the Cubs. I have a second cousin, Ernie Banks, you know, and Ernie was MVP a couple of years. Yeah, and I
certainly was.
We always wanted to see them get there. They didn't make it then. I know Ernie, like the rest of us, are happy for the Cubs.
First down and 10 Chargers. They'll run off one play. And Dan Fouts will kill it. So the Raiders, with a final second touchdown here in the first half, have the lead 13-10. We'll be going to New York right after this.
But he has turned out to be a capable backup for the injured Joe Montana, and one of the big reasons San Francisco is 4-0, one of only 2 teams in the league. In the first quarter yesterday against the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia, Kavanaugh hit Roger Craig, and the former Nebraska tailback ran and caught the ball well for San Francisco. This time a 35-yard touchdown pass that gave the 49ers a 7-0 lead in that ball game. 2 McFadden field goals for Philly narrowed it to 7-6, but in the second quarter, Kavanaugh was ready again. 19 seconds left in the half. This 2-yard touchdown pass to Freddie Solomon made good a scoring threat and gave the 49ers a 14-6 halftime lead and, in effect, control of the football game. It was 14-9 in the fourth quarter. 3rd and 15, Kavanaugh found Dwight Clark recovering well from off-season knee surgery. The 51-yard touchdown, one of 3 Clark catches on the day. The Niners beat the Eagles 21-9. Holding Mike Quick, the brilliant Philly receiver, to only 2 catches. Here's a man who's rapidly becoming one of the best receivers in the league. Mark Duper, the big play man for the Dolphins, did it again yesterday against the Colts in the Orange Bowl. With the score 7-7 in the second quarter, Danny Marino found Duper for 80 yards. Look at the perfection of this throw. Absolutely on the mark. Duper in full stride. The 80-yard touchdown made it 13-7. After a Von Schamann field goal, it would become 16-7. And then with 1 minute left before the half, Marino looked for Duper again. This time the quick slant, 5-yard touchdown pass. Good pass to the inside of the defender. Miami led 23-7 and had full command of the football game. Marino's 12th TD pass of the season. And in the third quarter, the Dolphin defense demonstrated that it always plays a role in what this brilliant team does. That pass off the hands of Curtis Dickey into the hands of Don McNeil. That made it 37 Miami. The Dolphins won 44-7. Shula on the big play.
I thought a big play was on 2nd and 10 from our own 20. And I sent a running play into the ball game, and Marino saw a coverage where he had man-to-man and decided to go for it. And he checked off to the bomb, the Duper. And we got the good protection, and he laid it out there as pretty as he lays it out there. And Duper made the catch on a dead run and got in there for an 80-yard touchdown to put us back ahead in the game. So it's just the thing that Marino is capable of doing. He's thinking big all the time, and if he sees it, he's going to go for it. He has that great confidence in his ability.
Tonight's halftime is also being brought to you by Apple Computer, makers of Macintosh, the business computer you already know how to use.
Coliseum, the Raiders lead the Chargers 13-10 in a good football game. More highlights now, picking up with the game between two of the better young quarterbacks developing in the league, Kansas City and Denver. All the attention before the game speculating on Blackledge versus Elway. It was Elway who showed his increasing maturity in this game. Second quarter, no score. He looked to the right side of the field. Long. And then finally came back to the left side of the field, finding a secondary receiver, in this case number 83, John Sawyer. Sawyer with the 25-yard catch, set up a 6-yard touchdown run by Sammy Winder. Like Sawyer, Winder had a big day for the Broncos, 139 yards on the ground. Later, Denver scored on an 80-yard drive to lead 14-0. Then Blackledge had this piece of difficulty. The ball off the hands of Billy Jackson in the third quarter, intercepted by number 31, Michael Harden. He went 45 yards. It was 21-0 Denver. The Broncos controlled the football on the ground and went on to win the game by that score. The Bears were unbeaten as they went into the Kingdome to play the Seahawks, but it was Walter Payton's great career. But later in the first quarter, Avellini showed his long-time propensity for the interception. The interception by number 42, Keith Simpson, who brought it back 39 yards. That tied the football game at 7-7. Seattle led 10-7 at the half. Then in the third quarter, one big play got the Seahawks going on offense. Craig looking down the field for Steve Largent. Watch this catch. Fully extended, horizontal to the ground. Largent's grab for 29 yards set up a Craig touchdown run that made it 17-7 Seattle and gave the Seahawks command of the game. Later, there was a Craig to Lane touchdown pass. Then another difficult play for the Bears. Avellini throwing deep in his territory to Suey. The ball stripped away, and as it rolled into the end zone, the little heralded but vastly underrated Seattle nose guard Joe Nash fell on it. That made it 31-7 Seattle. They were on their way to a 38-9 win. A frustrating day for Walter Payton, despite 116 yards rushing and the fact that on this play, he moved past Franco Harris in the race to break Jim Brown's career rushing mark. Payton with 116 yards in the game. Harris only 14 carries for 23 yards. But at the end of the ball game, when they shook hands, it was Franco's team which had won by the score of 38-9, and the Bears are no longer unbeaten. This piece of college football information for you. ABC Sports announced today that on Saturday, October 6th, we'll have regional coverage of 2 College Football Association games. Oklahoma State at Nebraska, both teams presently unbeaten. Nebraska, of course, ranked number 1.